Hey, everybody, Drew Scooter here. It's Wednesday Wonder. Drew Scooter here for Wednesday Wonder. In case in case it didn't work, let's turn on my Alexa. Turn on Christmas tree. Oh, there it goes. Also, real quick, I guess, because I mentioned my tree. Like, why is my Christmas tree important? Or actually, why is that TV important? Talk about if you listen to the ad-supported show, we're trying to do a push to get the show back on track and support it so I can keep making the podcast that puts you to sleep. And talking about, hey, what's valuable to you, or what are you grateful for on a scale of 1 to 10, right? And then where does Sleep With Me fit in? Is it a 1 that you're grateful for, a 2, a 3? Those two things are 10s. You might say a TV is a 10, and you'll think it for the wrong reasons. But yeah, I'm going to answer Dan's question too. But if you want your Wednesday Wonder question answered, I'm all over the place as usual. Use the contact form on our website. That's what Dan did. And yeah, let me know also in the comments where Sleep With Me on the scale 1 to 10. Like I talk about gravy or even whatever, frozen pizza. I don't have any frozen pizza in my, oh no, I do have a frozen pizza in my freezer. Like what's frozen pizza for me? 3, good backup dinner. Maybe a 4. How much should I spend on the frozen pizza? These two are 10s. Why is there a 10? I talked about the Christmas tree. My mom gave us that Christmas tree as a gift. The TV also is very not valuable because the TV's over. It's about 10 years old. I think it's not in any K. It may be 1080. It's definitely, but it's an old plasma TV. It was the first thing I was able to buy in sobriety after I paid off all of the debt I had. I had an incredible amount of like credit card unsecured debt. And my goal in sobriety was to pay off all my credit cards. And then I said, man, when I save some money after I pay off my credit cards, then I'll buy a TV. It'll be the first thing I save money for to buy. So it was just a big moment in my life. This is when I was working on the podcast. Podcast was not a source of any money. It was a source of just my investment of my time. But that's from my job, saving money from my day job. So anyway, those are two things that are really mean something to me. I guess the TV is more symbolic. The tree, hopefully I'll always have around. All right. So Dan's question, sorry about the rambles, but that's just how we do it here. So Dan asked a great question. Dan's asked a lot of great questions over the years. What's the most research you've done writing for an original series, Thursday style show? And what does this research look like? So great question, Dan. I would say that, whoops, my timer just went off. So I'm supposed to switch up tasks here. So I would say that the most I did that kind of changed the way we do things would be Journey Until Land of Tomorrow. Involved, I think before that, there wasn't, I can't think before that, but I know that was definitely up until that time the most research I ever did, where I was like getting maps of theme parks and then looking at D&D maps and reading Dungeon Master guides, and doing a lot of stuff, purchasing D&D books, reference books, and then looking up and kind of and also like D&D DM on the fly stuff, to really learn about how to build a campaign that then the characters could be playing. And that ended up not working because, in a sense, as you know, Dan, you ask a lot of questions. Like, there's only so much. Again, it's really hard if you're a casual listener to understand this, but Sleep With Me is a moving train that's being built at the time, and there's not an alternative to that. I know that idea might stress people out, but like, new episodes have to come out in order for the podcast to exist, even the old episodes. And so there's only a limited amount of time to work on those episodes, right? And even writing time. So then when we made Journey in the Land of Tomorrow, it kind of changed the narrative of like, okay, I started doing the research again. I was like, this just isn't going to work. The research time to the writing time, right? Because you got to research and write. And so then I was like, oh, well, the character part of the writing will be the characters creating the adventure as they're going. Like the characters will be the ones doing the research. So then it kind of fit in where I was like writing and researching at the same time, like creatively writing and researching, then instead of doing it separate ways. And so that kind of triggered this new phase that has carried forward into everything we've done since then. Let's see, Make Great Pets, what we're working on for 2025, whatever I just finished, which I had honestly have no idea. It's still coming out. Oh, multiplex. Um, yeah, all those involved this kind of new form of research that's kind of like where I'm not separating those two things. So now it'll look like for what I'm working on for 2025, taking a lot of myths or looking up facts about myths or old myths, or hey, how does like this belief system handle this, and then copying and pasting it. So what does it look like? This is kind of in the phase. Like now what I use is like and it actually works really good for this and for my dyslexia too. I think like I'm handwriting digitally, but then I can also use my laptop or what I handwrite on a tablet, like to copy and paste text in, so I can switch back and forth. I think we started doing that. I can remember copying and pasting stuff for Journey into Land of Friends, but I don't think it was the same system because I think I've only been using this system for about 18 months. So that might have been another system. But yeah, so now it looks like that. Like I'm like today I'll be working on episode 6 of our episodically modular series or series. It'll be kind of a surprise, or maybe it's not a surprise, but I already talked about it. But I'll be working on episode 6 today, and kind of I have a general idea of what the episode's going to be like, but then I'll probably read over my notes about who this mythological character may be that's involved in this. Oh, okay, well, this is what we thought the setup was going to be, and who was going to be in it, and where it was going to take place. And then I'll start breaking the story, and then I'll say, okay, well, we need a little bit like it'll kind of, the research will help supplement the story when it's like a point like, oh, okay, well, I'm not sure what's going to happen on this part of the story. Then I'll do a little bit more research maybe, and just see. And actually, like the research a lot of times now looks like similar to rote brainstorming, like, which is like for rote brainstorming, a simple example might be like, okay, I need a character name. Let's write out 100 names for characters. Or what's the worst thing that could happen to this character? And you write out like 30 the worst things that could happen to a character. And then you just do that without judgment. And then you say, oh, okay, does any of this work? Or like you just kind of look at it later. And the kind of research now is like that, where it's like, let me just look up a ton of stuff, and then kind of read through it again, maybe the next day, and then kind of be like, okay, does this fit in the story? Okay, no. Oh, wait, what about that idea earlier? Okay, yeah. Let's try that. I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, this will be a spoiler, I guess. Not that I just like to warn people. So I was working on something for next year, and it was going to involve Sisyphus and Tantalus, who are two post-earthly beings. And originally, the two main, I think I've already announced that Get Bezos is part of what we're doing next year. So RW and James were going back and forth, and I thought, oh, okay, that should be interesting, like about Sisyphus and Tantalus. And then something about the research kind of uncovered this other layer, right? And then I was like, like, I don't know. And it's, instead of going towards that one or the other or whatever, kind of went sideways to a different place, a much different place, but another mythological character. But it was like this rote brainstorming. Okay, let me learn more about that. Let me learn more about that. Then it was like, yeah. And then it kind of like also led to like the next episode, which is like, wait a second, are those two connected in mythology? Oh, that's interesting. Does this work for the story? So I hope that answers your question. I'm grateful for great questions and people that are, I mean, even if you don't have a great question, I'm grateful for it. But yeah, I mean, I don't put a lot of work into the show for people to listen to it, but like like I put it so you don't have to listen to it, and that's really what makes it work. But it's pretty nice that there's a small percentage of people that like are think about things in the same way I do, or are curious about the things in the same way I am. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Dan, and everybody else. And post your questions. The best way, again, to get your question answered is to use the contact form on our website, because every platform on social media is different and they have a different way of displaying their comments. And it may not be with the goal of getting the comments answered. And so, yeah, that's the best way to get a hold of me for anything. So thanks so much.